Yeah, let's go. Hebrew Hak, love, truth, salam, peace, huluthon, freedom, adil, and justice. Amin Talib, check me out, listen. Yo. Let the spirits guide me safely to my destination. Using respiration deep into my meditation. In times of desperation, I am using evocation. I said Lord and Master, creating the world that's ever changing. All the races created to force the separation. Discrimination, the basis is made on pigmentation. There's education for everyone in the population. Like my occupation, liberation of every nation. My obligations to stop and topple the operation of obliteration and subjugation of melanation. The sensation of putting truth in the syndication gives me inspiration. Motivation is vindication. Vocab is superb, emphatical. Enslaved mentally, thinking is unilateral. Resistant to the actual, brains are on a sabbatical. Third eye open, spirit traveling astral.
And preserve important knowledge about the Mayas, which early Spanish fused with their own. Pretty much what it is, when the Spanish came in later, and they came over to Mexico in these areas, they found manuscripts. So of course they named it after the town that they founded it. And a lot of this, it has a lot of history in it. And the Spanish who came over, pretty much what they did, they took a lot of our history and just made it their own. So when you hear some of them talk about, oh, this ancient tale and all this and that, they just took it, they're taking our own history and just making it their own. Islam? And you know, as we understand, the Europeans, that's what they do. Knock us over the head, so we're dumb, we don't know our own history, and then they're like, oh yeah, that's our history. So now, okay, the manuscript was found by a Don Adumaro Molina in the 18th century. And in his manuscript, it describes how the Maya developed a complex and detailed understanding of astronomy, calendar, including methods of predicting solar and lunar eclipse, rituals, prophecies, architecture, songs of the Mayan people, long before the arrival of the Spanish. So right there, they found this manuscript, and of course back then it was obviously handwritten, and they found this in more than one place. And again, now I remember, I never heard that the so-called Native Americans had books. They always make it seem like they were just in teepees and just following, roaming around or whatever. These people were civilized, they had books, manuscripts, and of course they just going there showing this highly detailed. I mean, they knew, like, oh, yo, that solar eclipse coming in a couple of months, y'all better get ready. Oh, that water's gonna be flooding soon in a few months, y'all better get ready. And of course, obviously they acted accordingly. Now, keep in mind I said that the pyramids had jaguar faces. I'm gonna get into that. I just wanna lay a little groundwork for you. The book of Chumaya was written by a Chilam, C-H-I-L-A-M, Balam. Yeah, Balam. Chilam, meaning a priest who gives prophecies, and Balam, a common surname meaning jaguar. So now to find the manuscripts from this dude, so pretty much this man had a last name of Jaguar, and we're gonna get a little bit of understanding of what that is about. And of course he was a priest, that's what Chilam was. But of course, just like how you said Balam, that's how I'm thinking too, like Balam, why that sound so familiar? Where did I hear about Balam? It's in Numbers 22. But it's talking about a person. But of course, we look at the Bible, of course it's in English. Me, I'll take it another step further. I'll look it up, like, let me see what it says, what it reads in the Hebrew. So of course in the Bible, which it says, we don't have to go through it, it says Numbers 22:5, or maybe 5 or 6. They talk about this man named Bilal. But of course in the Hebrew text, it's Bilal, Bil-am. And of course now I gotta look this up, see what this means. Not of the people, a foreigner. So it could be possible, like this guy, he came from somewhere else, came over here, set up shop, and now he's our priest over here, and he wrote these high-ranking manuscripts, highly developed manuscripts, which we know coincide with a lot of the culture over there in West Africa. And also, that's something else to put on your mind. It also means, it's also a Mesopotamian prophet. Now we do a prior demonstration, we went to Hammurabi Code and all this and that. You go to Mesopotamia, that's why you're talking about like the Babylon Empire and all that. Now they're talking about the Babylon this and that, but now sometimes we're thinking like, yo, what's if you're an Israelite, yeah, I can understand why you hate Babylon. But that's something else. I don't want to go too far off. And it's also a place called in Palestine. Now let's get into back into the priesthood, because this brother Chilam Balaam was a priest. Now going back to the priest, the Mandi Olmecs had three major cult associations: the Kuno, which is the bird, and the Nama, which is the feline. And there's another one called the stone cutters. Now again, because now we got different associations, organizations, societies within societies, and now one of them was a feline, and I had this priest, his last name is Jaguar. So right there, so you can already see, start to make the connections. Now obviously you get the idea, like Jaguar, Balaam, it's like a general name. Just like, I'm Bey. It's like, he's a Bey. It's like L, it's natural. Once you understand how the society and the order and everything is set up, if you hear somebody with an L or Bey, it's like, oh yeah, okay. That's where my mind went first. But maybe I'm off. Who knows? But of course, we hear about a cult, we don't get caught up in that. It's just a system of religious beliefs and rituals. Now going back to the Nama, the feline society was organized to maintain order within society. The members of this Joe, that's the original name, we'll say cult association, were to ensure ceremonial unity and defeat sorcery. Now, of course, obviously he's part of an order, and this order goes back to the Olmecs, showing that the Olmecs, how they came over here, they wasn't just, obviously they had the intelligence to build up civilization, but also within their society, they had a society within their society. Almost something similar like how we always talk about here, the Nazarenes, even though we move around amongst the people, whatever, but we still have our own ways. Just like Moorish American Muslims, even though we out here, we move with the so-called Negro, black, colored, and all this and that, but we have our own way, our own culture of doing things. It's not new under the sun. It's something that's been going on and on and on. Now, the leader of the Nama cult was called Namatigi, which means chief, or Amatigi, which is the head of the faith. The leader of the Kuno cult was the Kuno Tigi, or Kuno chief. These leaders initiated the Olmec into the mysteries of the cult. So now, they came over here because within this, again, within their society had somebody, others, who held on to these certain ways. Now, just like today, matter of fact, key 56, what are the words of the AC of the MST of A?
Death chamber of the Moorish Temple of America, third heaven.
You know what I'm saying? For those who come to the temple, of course, we encourage everybody to come to the temple, but you have to be here and you have to go through some things and you have to get a certain level of understanding before you understand what that a death chamber in the third heaven is about. Islam?
Islam.
See, like these brothers, they know because we've been there. We have an understanding of what that's about. That's why we encourage everybody to study, put that work in, so you can get up here too and understand what it is. So like I said, even though the prophet, he just stands in the doorway. You gotta understand it's like a door. You look at a door, if you don't never go through that door, you'll never know what's on the other side. That's why we always say this is not for the weak. This is for, especially at this temple, we know how it is. You gotta put that work in, you gotta study. And once we see that you put that work in or whatever, now we're gonna give you some jewels or whatever, because we see you trying.
Slow.
The leader, I read that.
I just want to add on to what you were saying.
Real quick, like what we give out in our public meetings, it's just but a pebble of the knowledge, man, that we actually deal with. Like we don't go into the greater details and lengths of the information because y'all not rising up, y'all not elevating to the levels. You're gonna get more keys and more information the more you show that you have a grasp of the basic criteria, the fundamentals of Moorish science. Then we can elevate you to the pinnacle of the knowledge. Islam?
That's right. Appreciate that. Okay, I'm trying to get on track here. Now, on the top of, which I showed before, which you probably haven't seen it before on the internet, on the top what they call stellate number 5. In fact, I'll show this around. I don't know if I'm sure you've seen this. This is something that was brought here by the Olmecs. Not brought here. It was left here by the Olmecs. It was left in stone at one of the sites. Now we're gonna, I mentioned it before, I know I showed it before, but we're gonna go into it a little bit more and we're gonna break it down. And we're gonna see how it makes sense and how it's even going on today. For those who understand. Now, well, while y'all take a chance, y'all look at that, it's gonna come around. On the top, obviously in their script, ancient African script, there's 2 lines up there, and it was broken down, somebody deciphered it. These lines are, of course, of Olmec writings across the top, reading from right to left. I'm not gonna read the ancient tongue, because just get right to it. Pretty much when you translate the lines up top, it means, thou art powerful now. Hold upright those obedient to the order.
We are the jure that government is de facto. Stick to common law, the law that governs the natural. The circle 7 is ancient Moabite chosen lessons. Learn is my obsession, my spirit is the eternal essence. Knowledge presence can help you understand earth and heaven. Stars, moon, the planets in universal measure. Living forever, Allah in the flesh, I'm a nature. Aboriginal, protecting home like a catcher. The lack of values is denigrating society. The irony is we live the opposite of propriety. Noble Drew gave the format and got it all back. Not in all black, and no longer are we the doormats. Rappers out here, they got a mental deficit. I got a mental surplus, a metaphysic definite. Setting precedents, these aren't just flows, they're testaments. I represent, it's evident in my lyrical measurement. Morris scientist, freedom fighter, fighting the Zionist. Science of the number 9, liberating the lioness.